defeated by a bump in the road. I got the weight and I'll carry the load. I'll make a new beat that'll bump on the road. I got a feeling and I'll see where it goes. Rolling down the one way, I run and gun way. I'm talking one day, when I got the money. Running my own way, now they're looking at me funny. And the work I do today will have me one day. Rolling down the one way, I run and gun way. I'm talking one day, when I got the money.
Hey, thanks for coming back. I think this might be the last video with this background and this home studio here. I'm about to move on to bigger and better things and push the limits of YouTube creativity. Yeah. Then in October, I'm moving to a whole new pool room. But the same tables. Yeah, you'll see. So things are going to change a little bit. I like to keep pushing the boundaries and testing the limits and trying to get bigger and better and all that stuff. There's a little bit to learn here in this video coming up. I had to force a couple angles and kind of play unnatural position to get to the position I needed to get to, because I got a little out of line here and there. And I'm killing the ball and forcing it off the rail. Stuff like that. You'll see what I mean. All the commentaries coming up. So you just saw the highlight reel, or the edited reel with me shooting the 1 through the 9. And now you're going to see the commentary part where I talk it to death and we analyze every shot before I shoot it and figure out where we need to be, why we need to be there, and all that good stuff. And then we're just going to let the game roll without any commentary or any editing, and close it out. I think that's going to be my new style. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I hope you learned something here. Stick with it. I think that's the biggest secret in pool. You have to work on it. Most people never work on their games. They go out and they shoot with their buddies, or they just knock balls around, and they're not working on what they're struggling with. And that's the big key. You can take years and years and years off your development by simply figuring out, number one, what you're doing wrong, and number two, really, really keen in and working on it. You have to put time away to work on what you're screwing up on. And we all screw up. It's a shame. None of us are perfect. And I'm certainly probably the least perfect involved in this YouTube video. But I got a little bit better because I worked on it. And you can get a whole lot better if you work on it even more. But first you have to know what it is, and that's what this is all about. Here we go. Bit of an odd rack here. Let's take a quick look at it. 1 to the 2, the 2 to the 3, the 3 to the 4, the 4 to the 5, the 5 to the 6, 6 to the 7, 7 to the 8, and 8 to the 9, and the cue ball is sitting right here. This was a good drill for you guys. The 4, we put the cue ball right about where the 3 ball is now, maybe a little bit higher. The 4 to the 5, the 5 back to the 6, and the 6 up to the 7. Or if you want to shoot the 7 in this corner, depending where the 8 would be. This, if you just line up these 4 balls and shoot this over and over, you'll learn a lot about angles and getting the right position, and what looks like the right position sometimes isn't the right position. You need an angle to get from this 5 back to the 6, but you also need an angle to get from the 6 back to the 7. So Especially for you new guys. If you've been playing less than 3 years, I would set these 4 shots up and run it over and over and over again. We're shooting, it's hard to tell this angle, but we're shooting the 1 ball into the side and just rolling up a little bit on the 2. But we have to be careful. It actually pay to get straight in on this 2 because of where the 3 is. You don't want to get real high on this 3 because we have to come back for this 4 ball here. And this 6 ball might get in your game, and so might the 7. So you kind of want to stop it on the 3. And you'll be in a good position on the 4 to get to the 5. You just got to be careful and just stay in line and you'll be fine. In a couple cases I had to kill the cue ball to keep myself in line. Didn't quite roll up far enough here, and I have too much of a wide angle on the 2. If you just shoot this naturally or draw back a little bit, you're liable to get in this mess here on this 3 ball. So you want to kind of stay. Getting back where the cue ball is now from the 2 would be great, but that's not going to be possible. So while we have to bounce out a little bit if we want a straight in shot on the 3, we don't want to bounce out too far. So I have to kill. This is one of the shots I had to kill off the rail to keep from getting away from me. And it's just a little poke stroke instead of shooting a long follow through there. I'm holding up on my stroke and I don't want to spin it too much. So yeah, I wound up getting straight in on this 3. Started shooting like Richie Ambrose. This putting left-hand English and going down to this rail should get you back up on the 5, but again, you don't want to be straight in on the 5, and you have to be careful of that scratch too. Yeah, I'm not liking this. See, I'm straight in on the 5, and how am I going to get back on this 6 ball here? I needed that angle. And it's hard to take this out of pull because you're dealing with millimeters here. My first thought is to draw back and just give myself, an easier angle. If you just stop this on the 5, you're going to have a nearly impossible cut on the 3. And that's also going to make it hard to get back on this 7, or not 3, 6 ball. Yeah, I mean, if you just stop on this 5, you're going to have a very difficult shot on this 6 ball. I don't know why I said 3 ball. I must be tired. Anyhow, I wind up forcing it, shooting it very hard with a little bit of bottom. I don't want to draw all the way back here, but I'm wanting to bounce off this rail and just come off a little bit further than where it is right now. Getting the cue ball back to where it is now, except a couple inches closer to the center of the table, would be fine. Yeah, I'm not liking it. It's not hard to read my body language. And that's pretty good. But I'm going to have to settle for it. I couldn't have asked for much more than that right there. I had to both cheat the pocket and force an angle that just wasn't there before. So I'm deciding here, instead of shooting this cue ball to get back, see, if I come up short on this rail, it's not necessarily going to give me the right angle on the 7. In fact, I'm probably going to come up short after bouncing off it, and then I'm going to have to go. You never want to move the cue ball all over the table. And I don't want to shoot this 7 ball 3 rails to get back on the 8. And you're flirting with the scratch, so if you come up long, you're liable to get you're just playing too much with the scratch, and you want to keep it away from that side pocket. It's liable to swallow this cue ball up if you don't hit it perfect, and nobody's perfect, so let's just avoid the scratch altogether and go 2 rails off the 6 back to this rail and shoot the 7 ball down here in this corner. It makes a whole lot more sense than trying to get back for that side pocket. So another long straight-in Richie Ambrose shot here. This is just basically a stop shot to get on the 8. You want to get a little bit high on the 8 so you can go down to the bottom round. I think I got it. I'm not real sure. Yeah, I do. And again, it's hard to tell. It looks like with this camera angle that a natural shot would come off the side rail, but it's not. A natural shot is going down to this end rail. So if we put a little bit of right-hand English on it when we hit this rail, it should put us in line with the 9 ball. A little bit of right. And that's it. Another Richie shot. These are good shots. These long straight-in shots are always great to practice. And if you shoot them 100 miles an hour over and over and over again, they will straighten your stroke out. So here we are. After this, we're just going to let it roll without the commentary and call it a day. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Oh yeah. Won't be defeated by a bump in the road. I got the weight and I'll carry the load. I'll make a new beat that'll bump on the road. I got a feeling and I'll see where it goes. Rolling down the one way, I run it gun way. I'm talking one day, when I got the Monday. Running my own way, now they're looking at me funny. And the work I do today will have me one day. Rolling down the one way, I run it gun way. I'm talking one day, when I got the money. Running my own way, now they're looking at me funny. And the work I do today will have me one day. One day. As I look into the future, but that's all in the past. Don't believe what I'm told, can't blame it. I believe what I know, cause I've seen it before. Rolling down the one way, I run and gun way. I'm talking one day, when I got the money. Running my own way, now they're looking at me funny. And the work I do today will have me one day. One day.